Hi everyone, welcome to another CSS animation episode. So today we're gonna make a animation for shopping cart button. I have the final product right here. Want to show you guys. It's a really simple button, and if I click on it, animation happen. It's really cool, right? Now this kind of animation is not really hard to do, and I'm gonna show you guys how in the next few minutes. Before that, if you like this content about CSS animation, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more CSS goodies. Thank you guys. Alright, I have CodePen open here. Now let's get started with the simple markup first. So I'm gonna define head tag and then the body tag. Right, so in the head tag, I want to load my custom fonts that I found on Google Fonts website. So I'm going to copy and paste the link over here. Right, so now I can move on to the markup for the animation. So remember we have a shopping cart icon, and that icon I actually download from somewhere, download that SVG somewhere on the internet, which I'm gonna paste it here. So you can go on Google and find whatever SVG that you would like for a shopping cart and basically just paste it here, and I give it an ID with a class cart and give a height and width 50 pixel. And for this button as well, I'm gonna give an ID button and type button, and the class is also button. Right, really simple, right? Another thing is we need to have a p tag. Basically just say add to cart, and I'm gonna give this an ID text and give it a class. Right, all good. So we have a really simple markup defined already. Let's move on to the styling. So before doing like animation styling, I want to have a basic styling defined first for the body, just to make the theme more engaging before I start doing really good animation. So width 100 view width, and I'm gonna give a background color for the body, and I already have this color defined. I actually spent a lot of time to choose a color, and I'm gonna center the button. Right, now this button is centered. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna style this button. I'm gonna give it a height 100 pixel, with 100 pixel, and border radius 50 pixel for all four corners, so we have a rounded edges. And the next thing is just give it a really nice color so you can easily see. And I don't want the border, and I don't want the outline as well, and I want to centered the shopping cart icon and the text add to cart. So I'm gonna use Flexbox for it. Center. And overflow hidden. And give it a cursor pointer as well. So every time you hover on it, you see the pointer, the hands. So you got a mouse and a hands when you hover on the button. So everything here is quite simple for now. And the next things I want to do is I want to style the cart. Basically, I just want to fill that with white color. And then I want to style the text. So for the text, I'm gonna give a white color as well. And the font size 35 pixel, and the font family that will load it in the link tag in the head of the HTML. Give a font style bold. And give a margin left so that it's not really close to the icon. And do a text transform uppercase. Okay, so it looks pretty good. And I have to make a plus sign in front of the card. One way of doing that is just use pseudo element for the text. Which I'm gonna do it now. That plus sign is a little bit debatable, but I kind of like it for some reason. So I'm gonna make this position relative, and then they go down here, make this position absolute and content, and give a height 5 pixel and the width 20 pixel, background color white, and then top 25 pixel. So you got a first pseudo element over here. I'm gonna do the same for the next after pseudo element. Is pretty much the same. However, we need to have a transform. Right, so we halfway done. So we got a real nice static button right here. It's not doing anything yet. So the one thing we want to do is when you click on the button, you apply an animation, right? In order to dynamically insert animation, we have to touch a little bit of JavaScript. For this, there's not much JavaScript to be done, and in fact, I'm gonna fast forward this JavaScript by basically copy and paste what I already wrote. So basically here I just get the button card and text by ID, and when the button is clicked, we basically, if the animation is not there, we apply animation class, and if the animation class is present, we want to reset animation because I want to reset animation just because I want to test it more easily. So if you just click a button, it'll apply animation, and animation already happened, and the only way you can reset animation by do a browser refresh. I don't want to do that. Instead I make a toggle. So first click, animation happen, second click, it reset the animation. This is just to make things easier to debug. So that's exactly what this code is about. So now for all this code is really basic. All it does is the first click, you have the animation happen. The second click on the button, we remove all the animation and reset the button to the initial state, right? So that's all I want you guys to know. And now we can just focus on the CSS. So for the CSS, we gonna do the animation for the card and the text first. So for the card animation that we're gonna insert on click, we gonna do is we're gonna define a card animation class. So for this card animation, we just wanna do a duration animation 0.5 and the keyframe name move card, and the timing function, which I'm gonna do is in for now, and then I'm gonna define a move card keyframe. So for the move card keyframe, I'm gonna start with a 10%, and I'm gonna do a transform. We basically, when the card is moving to the right, or look like it's being pushed to the right, it's actually a little bit tilted first. So we're gonna, to mimic that, we're gonna rotate it 15 degree. So when object is pushed suddenly, it tilts a little bit and then it moves straight, right? So we're gonna mimic that kind of physics, and then we do another transform 2 degree. So when it's pushed for a certain time, it's going back to the orientation straight or vertically. So I'm gonna minimize the degree being rotated, and then we also want to translate the position of the card to the right. So basically we're saying that the card is already pushed to the right by 30 pixel, and in the final frame I just copy it. The card is not rotated anymore, but the position now is 330 350 pixel, which is gonna be outside of the button. And I also want to set the visibility hidden. So now if you click on the button, the card is moving to the right, and you see the cart when it first pushed, it tilted a little bit here, and then it going straight to the right. So that's what we want. Now we want to animate the text. So we're gonna define a text animation, let's say down here. And it's gonna leave it the same as cart animation. So I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna just say move text, because the cart and the text move to the same direction and at the same time and with the same timing. So the only thing different here is just the keyframes. So this keyframe, we're gonna say 10%. We're not gonna move anything yet. This is because just the one when the card is first pushed, it actually tilted, but it's not moved yet. And this 10% basically just to compensate that, because you need to wait for the card to be tilted and then moved. So this from 0 to 10%, that's also the moment that card is tilted and the text is still at initial position. So I hope that makes sense. And now it moved to 350, same as the card. And also we want to do visibility. Now if I click on a button, it moved perfectly. Now we're gonna work on this plus sign here. So I'm gonna minimize this. In order to do that, we're gonna want to make define another text animation class. So text animation, and we're gonna target the before. So the animation again gonna be really similar to move card and move text, except we're gonna have a different keyframes name. I'm gonna copy this. Now for the move first side keyframes, I'm gonna say 5%. So before moving, I want to make this side to be moved a little bit up here. And then I want to move it a little bit to the left, and also at 60% frames I want the width a little bigger, just to have that kind of moving fast effect. And then in 100 frames I'm gonna say top 15 pixel, so the top stay the same, the left move it to the left, because we don't want the side moving too quickly, and we also want to increase the length of it as well. And then when it's outside the button, set the visibility hidden. Now if I click on this, you see that? So the side moves to the right, and also the length is longer. So you have this kind of moving fast effects to the viewer. I'm gonna do similar things for the text for the second side. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna say move second side. So it's gonna be similar to the move first side. So I'm gonna copy this and change it to after. So for this, we just do 30 pixels, a little bit below the first side, and say this 75 pixel. I'm gonna rotate it 180 degree so that it moves horizontally. And also for this, I want it to be horizontally. This one is not as long as the first one, so I'm gonna adjust this to 80 pixel, and I want to maintain the top position as well. So copy here. Yeah, I want to maintain the top position, and the width just 170. Left, I'm gonna make it a little bit not as much as the first one, and I do want to keep the orientation the same for all keyframes. Now if I click on the button, it doesn't work. Okay, because okay, I think this is gonna be fine. You see that? That's too white line before the card, just to keep that viewer the feeling of the card being pushed at a high speed. So that is that. Now we have, once we click on the button, you have to display some kind of text to give the user information that their item is added. So one way of do that is to one way to do that is to define the button animation. So we're gonna define button animation, and we're gonna use a pseudo element with the content with the text added, and then we do some form animation to help the user know that their item is added to the cart. So let's just do that. So I'm gonna give an animation 0.6. Go move button is in out. I'm gonna delay the animation by 0.5. I'm gonna make this position relative, and then I'm gonna copy this and move down here. Right, so the content gonna be added, and the top 50%. So I want to center it at the center of the button, And one way to do that is use transform translate minus 50 pixel minus 50 pixel, and that's gonna be other centered. And right now it's not visible for the user just yet. It needs to be after user click. And I want the text to be white, and the text gonna be uppercase, and I'm gonna copy the font family. And this before so the element also need animation to make it a little bit nicer when it first come into the screen. Say move, add it, ease out, and then also delay it by 0.5 seconds. Now we're gonna define the move added keyframes. As 0% the first, which is the first frame. I'm gonna make it visible, and we're gonna animate the font size. So, but it's visible, but the font size is gonna grow from 0 pixel to 35 pixel. I'm gonna make it 30, so it's gonna grow very quick. Right, so we have that. Now we're gonna move to the move button. So for the move button at 50%, I'm gonna say that the width is only 370 pixel. So it's how give the viewer the feeling of contraction. And then it's gonna go back to original width. Okay. Now if I click on this, you see the animation add to cart is coming back, and one way to fix that is to use animation fill mode, and let's say forwards. This basically means that after the animation, all the elements that was animated not gonna move back to the original position. So I'm gonna do that for all animation. The text animation as well, and the card animation. This one basically all the animation they added. Okay, that's it. Now I click on it, we have to add it, and a second click, I reset animation. So when you see the added coming in the screen, the button contracts, shrink and contract, and then back to the original width. It's just a subtle cue for the viewer to know that the item is successfully added to the basket. And that is it. Really simple, right? So if you like this video, give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I